I don't have any. I don't anticipate anything super great with this live stream, but I'm doing it anyway. Let me check it first. Am I live? Is anybody here? Let me see here. I want to go on YouTube and see if I am streaming. YouTube Studio and content and live. And we're live, I think, right? Oh, yep, that's us. Okay. And the audio is okay. So that's good. Let me change the thumbnail to something. Let's choose a thumbnail. All right, so we've changed the thumbnail. Let's see if that works. Yep. Okay. It's a horrible thumbnail, but you know what? That's okay. How's it going, everybody? Let's see here. Let me go back to the live view and mute it. You know what? I was sitting here, not doing well by myself, and I am in the middle of. Let me fix focus here. Okay, that's better. So, thank you, Robert. Thank you. Hey, Danny, how's it going? I was basically sewing some covers for the windows of the van, and I've sort of been working on it all day. And I decided that I'd maybe invite you guys to hang out. We could talk. Otherwise, I'm just going to be sitting here all by myself working on this stuff. And I thought at least I'd talk to you guys. Here's some things that I could talk about, some updates, some new news and whatnot. And so I figure, why not bring you guys along on my wonderful journey, the spectacular of me sewing covers. So let me show you the first cover. That's how we'll start this thing off. So these are for my back windows of the van, and they are this is one cover. This is the same material of the inside of the van. It will fold up like so. It'll fold up like this to reveal most of the window when I want, and then the strap will come up underneath and then tie in. Let's do this. This is the first time I've done it. I just finished it, so let's see how difficult it is or not that to put this window up. I might replace this with a button, but this is what I had. Okay, there we go. So that's how the window will go. So basically, I got these big windows, and when I want to open them up, there's magnets along this whole edge here, so it sticks to the metal of the van. When you want to have a blackout situation, like maybe it's really bright outside or you're going to bed and you want to close them, then these will come down and all the magnets will attach. And so I have been fabricating these for quite some time, actually, and I've got 2 more to do. So we'll start sewing in a little bit. But hey, Troy! Wow, if you're a new member, this is a very strange podcast or video to jump into out of nowhere. Hey, Brian. Yeah, I actually bought this sewing machine. If you guys didn't see the last episode I bought, or the episode where I talked about sewing, I bought this thing. This is a Singer heavy-duty sewing machine, and this thing is a little workhorse. It costs $200, and it's not like huge. Like the commercial size sewing machines are, you got basically got to buy a whole table, and they're like $1,000. Even the used ones, they're like those really good tools that like the Cincinnati brand of plastic injection molding machine. You know, you see those things in some factories, and those things are like, geez, 50 years old, and they're really good quality. But how am I right now? Am I 5x5 on audio and video? It looks good in the replay on StreamYard, but just let me know. I don't know how long this live stream is going to last. I figure I'll give you some updates, talk about some things that are going on, and we can celebrate my birthday. Woohoo! Anybody guess how old I am? Go in the chat, and you can guess how old I am. I most of the time it overshoots, but I think that there's like a bell curve where you start looking as old as you are. Like I when I was younger, I started losing my hair earlier, and like when I was in my 30s, everybody said, "Oop, I'm not in my 30s anymore." So that's already out. 54. Okay, well, we'll see. 50? No. Oh, my teeth are white. This is good light in here. My camera's doing a good job. But no. Until somebody guesses it, I will not tell you. But I've been 21. You've been 21 for 21 years. Oh, almost. Cat D got it. Yeah, I'm 45. And you know the funny thing? I actually had to look it up on calculatemyage.com, which is sort of humiliating. I think once I got to 38, I really stopped caring about my age. It really wasn't about my age, and so I just started ignoring anything that had to do with my age. And so I actually had to go on and be like, because I'll be like, how old are you, Matt? I'll be, I'm 42. How old are you, Matt? I don't know, 41, maybe 42. How old are you, Matt? 45. I don't know. But I kind of really wanted to know for this live stream, and so I did go online and plug in my birthday, 1979, June 21st, summer equinox, longest day of the year, first day of summer. It's funny because this day is, okay, when you're probably 0 to 13, this is a great day. Maybe 0 to 14 or 0 to 15 even. You're a kid, you're still playing outside, you're enjoying the daytime, you're just enjoying being a kid. Then you turn 16, 15, 16, and you start hanging out with your buddies, you're going to movies, maybe you're getting a coffee or something, you're starting to rebel a little bit, so you're going out at night. You enjoy the night. So then you want the longest night of the year. What's the longest night of the year? It's got to be the first day of Christmas, right? Or the first day of winter. What is the longest night of the year? But then I think around 32 or 30, maybe even in your 20s, maybe 28, maybe even earlier than that. After 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 25, you're still partying pretty hard, going out. But 26, 27, 28, you start transitioning to that next phase, and you start enjoying the daytime. You're building things. You're maybe growing a family. Maybe you're doing traveling. And so nighttime was for resting, and daytime was for having a good time. So I'm obviously past that. So the more light is the more time I have to sew. So that's great. Hey, James Manson, quick question. Why did you leave China? If you talked about it in previous video, could you point me to that one? Brian, there's a video that's called I Left China that starts out really weird, but I was trying to make a joke. Nobody got the joke, and everybody got offended. But, well, Annie has family here that came here. My niece and nephew, Dada and Xiao Xiao, if you watched way back. And they went to an academy, a high school, private school here in Indiana. And so that sort of brought Annie here and Eva here to watch over them when they went to school. The original reason, which is crazy, was that I was trying to continue traveling, and I was this YouTuber, and I was this traveling YouTuber, and I was trying to do all these adventures, and the trike didn't seem feasible at the time because we were still in the pandemic, and it was China, and once you're in China, you're sort of in that bubble, and I sort of wanted to continue moving around the world, and so I thought, well, why don't I go to America and settle in there, leave Annie and Eva safe in China, and then just start trying to figure out some things. And that's when the idea to get a van came and build this van. Oh, I'll get a plumber's van and I'll convert it over to this beautiful studio. It'll take a little bit of money, but I had some inheritance from the death of my father and grandparents, and I thought maybe I can invest in this van, and then the van could generate more income by traveling. And then I sort of got bogged down in the building of the van, in life in America, and things got sluggish. I did travel to the Czech Republic. I did travel around Europe and do that cycle tour in Italy. My health, I've had a ton of health problems. I'm in the basement. I hear noises upstairs. The heck is that? Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. I'm sorry. This is very rude of me, but sounds like hammering in the construction next door, but sure as hell sounds like it's outside the house. Let me see the cameras. Let me see the cameras in the house. I'm pretty sure they're doing concrete work across the street. Everybody here are like new homeowners. Yeah, it's okay. Gosh, that sounds like right here. Like, should I go and check it? Man in Southeast Michigan gets his house robbed while he's downstairs having a boring live stream spectacular. You heard that too, Jason? It's like, the dog's not barking, so okay. You know what? Hold on. I got to go up and check it out. I will be right back. We'll keep talking. Hold on. I'll keep the microphone on me. Maybe it'll go all the way out here. Rose, what's going on up here? I hope you're protecting the house. Where are you? Stay. Okay. I wonder, can you guys hear me upstairs on the microphone? I've got this wireless DJI. I went all the way upstairs to the front door, looked out. No one is robbing the house, so that's a good thing. But it sure as hell sounds like it's happening right next door. Hey, Matt, how's it going, man? Happy birthday to me. Thank you. I miss you, man. Yeah, you know what? You know what's funny is I don't know if you heard, but somebody asked why did I leave China, and partly was to come and join you traveling to Egypt, and we were going to do a scuba diving tour. Rose, what's going on up there? Rose, come here. Are you not protecting the house? Huh? What's going on? Say hi to everybody up here. Anyways, so yeah, me and Matt were supposed to go to Egypt and explore like this new what's it called, Matt? The museum. I forgot the name of it, but supposed to be the most amazing museum in the world. But we ended up, well, it wasn't finished. So I got to America and I kind of had to figure some things out. And I thought I'd buy this van, and it would take me max a year. I could take a year, build it out, make it really nice, and go from like a box van, like a plumber van, to a bare bones van, to a mobile studio that would rival anything you've ever seen. And and we would go off on and we would just drive around North and South America on this thing. So that was my thought. And I sort of got bogged down in things in life, and then the opportunity for Annie and Eva to come to America happened, and so they came, and we sort of settled in Southeast Michigan. Now I've got a house. I've got the van still here. I've got the trike hanging in the garage right now. We do have some big things. Let me make a notation. We have some big things coming up regarding the trike. We got some big things with the trike. Great to see you, Pat. How's it going, man? Good to see you too. How hot is it there, Pat? I know in Michigan right now it was 100 degrees today. Jason, were you outside today? It was freaking hot, man. Oh, the audio was good? So you heard me go upstairs. That's pretty cool. Yeah, it was good. Brian, I was the one who sent the blue flowers years ago. Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. I did receive a lot of kindness during that period of time. For those of you that don't know, I recorded the downward spiral of my dad as he passed away through the pancreatic cancer. And it was not as morbid as you think it is. It was actually quite poignant and beautiful. Yeah. The Grand Egyptian Museum. Yeah, that was it. So you're in Philly right now? Still hasn't opened. The gem, yeah. Where are you right now, man? Are you in Vegas? 236% humidity. Pat, it is very humid here. And as a matter of fact, let's check the weather. Let's check the weather. We'll see. Southeast Michigan right now, it feels 94 degrees, and the humidity is 56. Extremely humid. And, ooh, looks like we've got some rain coming, so we might have a storm, which means we might have the power knocked out, because the power gets knocked out here a lot. Okay, so anyways, Annie and Eva are in China right now. It's a family trip for them to meet their family, and I had to stay here. We have a few things happening. We're building a deck. Let's see if I can show you. If you can see out the window. So you see the deck? Those are the steps of the deck out the window. And then that's the cat who loves the basement because she gets to kind of stare out at the world from the basement. And that's the building. They're building that townhouse. So that might be the sound that. Hey
Matt, happy birthday! My little birdie told me today is the day. Wishing you a great one, Chris.
That's nice. But yeah. So we're doing the deck. Then we have sod. Then we have sprinkler systems. Then we have all sorts of things going on at the house. And I couldn't leave because I've got to watch over these things progressing. They cost a lot of money. And we sort of made it so I promised Annie so that when she gets back, the house will be, in some sort of, let's see here, I'm going to fix the focus again. So that the house will be in some sort of an order. So hopefully she can come home to a lawn, well landscaped yard with a back deck on it. Did you guys watch? Any of you watch my video where I put those glow stones in the back of the patio and the driveway extensions? That was pretty cool. I would have never thought 5 years ago that I would be doing like home renovation videos or sharing home renovation things. I don't really connect a lot with brick and mortar lifestyles. I kind of like the idea of traveling from place to place, but here I am, which is interesting. What's the cat's name? The cat's name is Xiao Ai, which in Chinese is little Xiao Ai, love. So little love. That was Eva gave Xiao Ai that name. If she comes over, come here. Come on. No, she won't do it if the dog's here. But let me go get her. Come here. Come say hi. Come say hi to everybody. So I'm stuck at home taking care of the girls. So this is Xiao-Ai, who is a lovable-ish cat. She's not very lovable. She allows me to hold her, and then she will go on her way. But she's all right. So there's Rose, the dog, and then Xiao-Ai, the cat, and they're pretty good. But Master Q2, happy birthday. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. I am happy birthday to me. Whoop, that was the cat doing that. Oh. The dog and the cat bicker like sisters. They're funny. Yeah, I do like the gypsy lifestyle, but I am here and we're doing some really beautiful. The house that we have is very, very beautiful. Southeast Michigan, we're kind of rural-ish, so there's like apple orchards right up the street, and what's that? The tractor supply stores, and stuff like that. So that kind of a rural Michigan vibe. Very red. Apparently, this area that I'm living in is one of the reddest areas in Michigan. So there's that. But yeah, so anyways, the other reason that I didn't end up going, which wasn't really the reason, but it ended up happening, was I was walking outside a few days ago, and I was playing with the dog, because the dog likes to play ball and everything, and I'm kicking the ball around, and then I sort of feel something in my belly, and I look down, and your belly button should look like this, but mine had it was like a smiley face. It was, well, so if you were to cut and push a piece of meat down into it, it was like a smiley face, like that bottom spot. Because I had a hernia, and so my intestines was poking down into my belly button. Thank God it was very visible. Obviously, I could see it, so I was really easy to diagnose it. I knew it right away. I'm like, oh, well, that's not cool. So I scheduled an appointment. I was able to get in and have the doctor look at it, and he set me up with surgery on the 12th. I ended up having the surgery, and I'm wearing, I look fat. It's just pushing me up, but I'm wearing a girdle right now. But it's really, you want to see? It's kind of interesting. Whoa. So they go in from here, here, and here with the laparoscopic robot, basically. And then they push a bunch of air in here, and then the belly separates, and then they look around and they can see anywhere there's holes, and they put a piece here to cover this hole here. And then they send you home, and let's see here. Then they send you home, and you basically have to writhe in pain as your belly and your basically the sac that holds your intestines have to reconnect, and rebond. And I mean, it was pretty wild. They put me out. It was an outpatient surgery. They put me out, and when they gave me when they gave me the drug that puts me to sleep, it wiped out my memory about an hour before the surgery. An hour before I got any of the drugs that put me down, I forgot all of that time. I only remember me in the waiting room with Annie, and the anesthetician is talking about okay, we're gonna do this. 20 seconds later, you're gonna be out, and then we'll operate on you almost immediately, and then I'll give you a drug. You'll wake up, and then apparently I came out fine. I was talking to Annie. I exited. Annie went and got the car. I exited the hospital. We went to the pharmacy. We got medicine. I was talking to Annie about taking roads that aren't so bumpy, because I was a little nervous because it hurt. My belly hurt. And so there was all of this sort of conversation going on, and I was fully aware. Then I came here, I hobbled upstairs, I went to bed, And sleeping, when you have a hernia, you basically have to sleep sitting up. So we had this huge pillow, basically a pillow fort that I had to lean against. And I'm just sitting in an upright position. I passed out. Obviously, I was on some like oxy or some sort of narcotic medicine, and I was out. And then when I woke up in the morning or later, I had no idea how. I'm like, how did we get home? How did I get up the stairs? When did we leave the hospital? What happened after the anesthetician was talking to us? And there was nothing that I could remember. Now, some of the things have come back, but it was very weird. It's very weird to lose your memory that vividly. Like, there's one thing about I forget where I put a pair of keys, or or where I put my pants, or where I put my wallet. I forget those things all the time. But this was like I forgot life. I forgot it was completely edited out, or it was misplaced in my brain. But they call it like surgical amnesia or something. My stepmom, Nona, was telling me a little bit about it, but it was very weird. Like I gotta imagine it's probably like if you go to the bar and somebody roofies your drink, like you lose that whole thing, and you might be aware, but you forget it all anyways. It's very crazy. Nadine, happy birthday, Matt. Sorry to hear about your health. Has not been great. It's good to do a natural detox. Hi to Annie and Eva. Thank you. Miko Liuko, hey, how's it going? So I'm still supposed to be pretty much off lifting anything crazy heavy, and not even crazy heavy. Like some people were like, you can't even like vacuum your house because that's too much weight. But it's been about a week. I think it's been over a week now, and I'm still taking care of it. The problem is that I had to go super lazy and just really, really not do anything. And then when you're doing that, your belly fills up with fluid. So even though I was like, I couldn't eat because I didn't have an appetite, because my belly was so distended that it was pushing in on my stomach, and it took away any desire for me to fill my belly because my belly was already compressed and didn't have any room for anything else. So like it was compressed, and so I have lost a few kilos, but you can't tell because my belly is so distended. It's quite crazy. Controlled Chaos Gaming, hey, how's it going, man? No, it's okay. It's okay. But I mean, beyond that, I rolled my ankle, like seriously rolled my ankle. I was helping a guy across the street, so I had to go to the hospital or go to the doctor for that. And then I've had gout like crazy, and so that just a cacophony. Like, I traveled around the world on that trike. I didn't really have any health insurance, and I never even cared because other than my car accident, I really didn't have the need to have any healthcare issues, or I didn't have any healthcare issues, so I didn't have the need to worry about those sorts of things. But it seemed like I came home to America and all of a sudden my body's falling apart, which is not very cool. 45 years old. You just reminded me about my meds. Okay, Jason. Yeah, you take yeah, you got some health issues, bro. I'm sorry about that. So yeah, Annie and Eva are in Ningbo right now. Eva is wanted to go and see her friends and family in China. I was sort of supposed to go, but I was also sort of not supposed to go because we had these house things. And also there was a bunch of other things going on. Like there's a Trike Fest going on in Portland I was going to go to. Right now, actually, like in a couple of days, there's Tater Tot, which is like a trike rally that I always heard about. It's in Idaho. And I always heard about people going to this thing. Everybody that rides a recumbent trike goes, or people who are notable in the recumbent trike world in North America go to it. And I really wanted to go, but not going to go. So that's going on right now. So I'm missing all of these things. Then I have me and Annie and Eva went to Niagara Falls, and we celebrated a friend of ours' wedding. That's the last couple of videos on the channel, which I was happy to share with you guys. That was kind of nice. Eva and Annie got to go to Canada for the first time. We went to Toronto. I didn't make a video of our time in Toronto. There was a bunch of people that I think were waiting for that video of Toronto. We ended up going to Toronto, driving through the downtown, And then we were supposed to meet some of Annie's friends and go out to dinner in Toronto. That would have been the story that I could have recorded on the channel. But instead, that fell apart because they got sick. And we didn't want to, obviously, Annie and Eva were going to go to China. We didn't want to expose them to any health issues. And we ended up just crashing outside of Toronto by 30 minutes. So it was sort of an uneventful thing so there wasn't anything really eventful to share on the channel. So, but we got to see Toronto. It's a very cool city, and I think we will go out there again. And we'll spend some time in Canada more. The van, like I said, is basically finished, and so this is an opportunity for us to go. Yeah, one thing after another lately. Yeah, Jason, that's true. Shit always hits the fan when it's in multiples of threes. Yeah, well, what would be the three? The hernia, the gout, and the rolled ankle? I could find a few more. So it's not exactly threes, it's a bunch. So Desmond, happy birthday. Take it handy and stay well. Thank you very much. Thank you. Oh. So yeah, so I'm wearing this girdle, which in itself is very uncomfortable. Sleeping is, I'm getting pains in my side because like when you roll over, your belly wants to slide over. And when that happens, it's pulling against the meat that it's trying to bond to. So anytime I roll on my side, you know, the meat, your gut is there, and then your skin over the gut is moving this way and that way. And you don't want to move it around. You want to leave it so that it'll reconnect. And yeah, that's pretty gross. So anyways, let's see. Oh, my friend Cyrus Jansen is in China right now, and I'm really happy to see him on his personal journey there, which is very cool, making me very jealous. So there's that. He's in Chongqing right now, which is exciting for him. I like to see my friends going back, and there's a whole bunch of my friends that are back in China, and I'm jealous of that. CBD, you know, I've never tried CBD, but Annie has some upstairs, some oil. Maybe I could mix into some stuff and see if it helps. I was saying, I feel so like I had to be so lazy because of this, and I had to restrict my movement so much that now I'm getting, the reason I was getting up and making weird noises because I have a twinge in my back. You know those twinges in your back that are like, you're going to pull your back pretty soon. It's not there yet, but it's coming. And so I'm very nervous about that. But anyways, when it rains, it pours. Rose is going to have to take care of me. Mentioned gout. Consider seeing a rheumatologist. Well, I have a doctor now who's right down the street, and he knows about my gout issue. I'm taking a daily. I forget the name of it. It's your typical gout medicine. Oh shit, I can't remember the name of it. But it's so far my gout has been pretty well managed. So okay, so let's talk a little van stuff. So I'm making these covers for the van. I've been fabricating them for quite a while. And a couple of them I've completely redone. The back windows I completely redid. Another thing I've been doing is installing the air conditioning system in the van. I have a DC powered air conditioning system that runs separate from the van's air conditioning system. So the van, they call them a van, the van system and the house system are separate, because if you want to do like true off-grid living, you want to be able to turn the van off and still have the functionality of anything a typical RV might have. And so I have a Cruise and Comfort 48 volt DC powered air conditioning system. And I was running it and testing it, and I had all this, like, I've been recording a little bit about it, and I've got some cool videos about it. And let's see here. How many people? We got 24 people. Can somebody drop me a like or a dislike? Just drop them. Just drop them. But yeah, how long is it so far? How long has this been going? I can't see a timer. Oh, 34 minutes. Okay. In fact, 1 year ago today, you were struggling with shingles. Yeah, I remember. Jason, you've been going through some bad shit. So yeah, I'll try the CBD. Anyways, I was installing this air conditioning system. I had it all wired up. I got it charged up at the auto center to get the Freon installed in it, and I turned it on, and the cold air started pouring out. It's a little loud. It's a little loud, but it blows air and it's cold, and I can't complain about that. So it was working, and I was testing it for a few days, and then the circuit breaker blew, and I'm like, maybe it overheated. I wasn't running it too much. It was a few hours, but it still blew the circuit breaker. So I let it sit for a while. I turned it back on. I didn't have any problems. Then we had a couple of days that were super hot, and it was a couple of Sundays ago, and I just figured I'm going to turn it at 78 degrees and just run it the whole day and see if off-grid, unplugged from the house, how long the system can keep the van at its proper temperature. Now, that's where these window covers come into play. Without them, the heat just comes right through those glass windows. It's unmanageable. No way you could keep it at the proper temperature. But with all the window covers in, front and everything, you can have the thing working like on for 10 minutes and then off for 10 minutes, basically like that. And I haven't finished the covers either. So when I finish it, hopefully I can seal it up even more. So I was running it for a while. Then I went into the house and I went back out to the van, and the circuit breaker was flipped. So I was like, oh, maybe it's a overheating problem again. Flipped the circuit breaker, but the circuit breaker wouldn't flip. It just stayed down, kept popping. And I smelled some acrid smell. So I was like, I'm not going to play with it anymore. My family was over. I ended up waiting a couple of days. Then I went back and returned to it, and I rewired up a new circuit breaker, and I flipped it. And basically, well, no, I fused. I put a fuse on it. The fuse blew. Then I put another circuit breaker on it. I flipped the circuit breaker, and then I started hearing arcing in the condenser or in the evaporator. So the evaporator was arcing, and I started smelling some acrid smoke. It was bad. The evaporator is mounted in the van in such a way that in order to get it out, you'd have to disassemble the whole cabinet. And obviously it's tucked in. Everything in these vans are designed to conserve space, and so I had to cut out my cabinet basically in order to get at the air conditioning system to start diagnosing it. What I ended up doing is I went to my cousin Mike's house, and we ended up pulling out the circuit board. And so this is the circuit board that was a problem. And basically this positive connector was grounding to the circuit board. And it was, I mean, I can't even pull it. It's not free floating. It was like literally fused and burned into the circuit board. So I called the company, Cruise and Comfort in Phoenix, and the guy, Chris, who's a really good guy, Chris Fry, he sent me out some new parts. So that was like, it only took 2 days. And so this is the new component. So we're going to put this new one on, and then this is like an upgraded one too. So apparently it has some safeguards on it that won't allow for that to happen again. I also bought a upgraded thermostat. So I have an upgraded thermostat. The other one was not as advanced as this one. This one you can have zone control. So you can have, I'm an old man. So you can have zone control. So you can like control one zone of the van as front and back, because the back cools down super quick and the front super hot. So I was like, do you have anything that can help me there? So he's like, yeah, we'll send it out with the circuit board. So that's in there. I'm not going to put it into until the temperature cools down a little bit. It's way too hot to be working in that van with no air conditioning. So yeah. Let's see. In fact, when you need a train horn to put on that van. Yeah. That would be cool. That would be cool. Like even a boat horn. That would be super cool. Yeah. Jason's saying, shame on that person who kept messing with your van on that street. That was Portland. I was building the van out. Thank God I didn't have the van finished, because the van was sort of empty at the time, but people kept breaking windows and slicing my tires. And if the van was like it is now, they would have shattered the window and then jumped through that window and probably gutted the van. It's one of the fears I have with that van, just getting vandalized and then ripped off. That'd be crazy. Here. Press a button, loud horn. What is here? What is something wrong with my audio? Anyways, so yeah, 22 people. It's funny. Whatever. I'm not doing this. I'm just doing this because it's my birthday and I wanted to kind of like talk to somebody. It's weird having Annie and Eva gone. Normally there's Annie's yelling at Eva for some godforsaken reason, and Eva is a bit too addicted to the iPad, and so she's kind of like aggravating Annie, and yeah, so that there's none of that tension, and there's also no cooking sounds or smells. It's pretty relaxed. So it's been a quiet birthday extravaganza. Oh, I have the same fear of my sports car. Isn't that crazy? I mean, in China, parking is, I guess there's still thieves in China, but the problem is that thieves are going to be recorded. There's so much surveillance, CCTV cameras on businesses and communities. Communities are fenced in, so there's checkpoints if you want to get into even typical apartments. You have, like you'd say blue collar apartments. You'd have an ingress and an egress sort of area where a guy checks you and you come in, and he's, it's not like authoritarian, it's just security. Even when you're on the street, you can park, and there's cameras everywhere. So if somebody does steal something, I only had one thing. I think I can remember one thing being stolen while I was in China for 15 years, and I had my bike. I was riding a bike, and it had one of those bags that go from the seats here, and then the bag is like a webbing bag. And I had some bike tools in it or something, and I parked it in front of the building I was working at, and when I came out, the bag was gone. So somebody had stolen it. And I don't know, there might have been another time that somebody ripped off something, but overall, I feel like it was much better than, say, America's system, like as far as that goes. So here, I live in a very, very comfortable area, but I feel like if I took that van to downtown Detroit or whatever, I just have to be very, very aware of where I put that van. Kind of counter that, I was riding the trike around Asia, and I mean, if you guys don't know, I cycled around Asia. It was Japan, Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Thailand, Malaysia, and some places were pretty seedy. But I mean, I would leave my trike out in front of stores and walk inside, get a coffee or get some food, come back out. I was never really concerned about somebody nicking my trike, and nobody did, and that thing was loaded down with all sorts of stuff. Although there was that time in Cambodia where I almost got some thieves were trying to get my stuff. They hunted me down, but I was riding around Phnom Penh, which is the biggest city, and it's like the capital. Phnom Penh, I think it's the capital of Cambodia, and it was like 3:00 in the morning because it was really, really hot, and I had to leave really early in order to avoid the heat of the day, because it really hot. If you were at 3 p.m., you were still riding around, it was like 100+ degrees and like 100% humidity. You'd be dying. But if you left at 3:00 in the morning, you could go. So I was leaving at 3:00 in the morning. There's a video about it out there, and these two kids were hunting me down on a moped, and they almost got me. It was hair raising. Yeah, so that was bad. Did you ever get profiled in China? What do you mean profiled? There was a time, I think it was me and Lee Barrett in Chongqing. We were hanging out in Chongqing together, and I think who else was with me? Feel bad, I can't remember his name. Alex, and Alex, Absolute. So he was with me. I think the three of us, and there was an old uncle who was sort of hanging out. eyeballing us and on his phone. You know, it's all paranoia until you confirm it, right? So I mean, I don't think it was the most strong vibe I ever had in China, that far beyond the paranoid early times. You know, early times in China, you're looking over everybody. You're looking at everybody like, are you a communist spy? Are you because of all the propaganda in our heads? And then after that softens up after like the first few months or 3 months, you start becoming more comfortable and realizing a lot of that is bad. But after that calming down period, it was only like that time in Chongqing that I felt, oh, that guy's following me around. That guy's following us around. He's thinking we're riffraffs, you know. But beyond that, no. Yeah. Oh, look, a white guy. Yeah. Oh, look, a foreigner. Yeah. I liked it. You know, it's funny living here in Michigan. Annie is very comfortable. She sits around the house. She does her work on her computer. She cooks food. She goes shopping. She comes home. There's not a lot of personal interaction with the neighbors or the community. And she sort of likes that. She kind of likes the quiet. And it sort of drives me nuts. I like interacting. I am glad that I have very friendly neighbors. The area that I live in is very, very nice. The neighbors are super cool. And so I'm forging relationships with them, and they're very friendly. I'm active on the Facebook group for the community and stuff like that. So that's great. But it's not like going to the bottom floor of your apartment and seeing the hustle bustle of street vendors. And I was talking to Cyrus about it too. Like, entrepreneurship of a certain variety is way, way, way more popular in China than it is in America. Now, entrepreneurship is fostered in America like a lot. Like, you know, you want to grow a business, you want to start a business, you want to do this kind of things, for sure. But in China, because there's so many people in densely populated areas, and because I don't know if the regulations are lower. I don't know if it's because and there's a bit more out of the box thinking in some ways, because a lot of these people grew up in the rural China, you know. But you'll find people taking risks and making business decisions to start up really, really, especially restaurants and food places. You'll see people doing all sorts of cool stuff, like really, really vividly unique dining experiences. And they're not even like sophisticated, you know. A soup in a bag. We were talking about, like, you can get soup in a bag, and that soup in a bag is amazing. You either put a straw in it, or you sit down and you have a plastic bowl and you open up the bag and you're eating it. There's the ingredients and the variety of tastes and flavors that you can offer, because because Chinese people are more accustomed to variety of exotic flavors. I mean, the amount of people that you could find here that would have a 1,000-year-old egg, a century egg, the black eggs, is not so much. You know, you would have a lot more people not even giving it a chance. Whereas in China, they're used to eating chicken feet and 1,000-year-old eggs and peppers and spitting bones out. So there's no filleting meat off of bones so that you don't have to get bones in your mouth. You're just spitting the bones out, because that's the way that people are accustomed to eating food. And so it kind of opens up opportunities for people to try a little bit more exotic ideas, because people are more open to that. It's to the extreme, you might say India is that way, where you see in India, you see the street vendors, you know, to the extreme filthy. You know, I'm not saying Indian people are filthy, but their street vendor lifestyle in India, and then this isn't just my anecdote, it's a story that I've heard from many travelers. You really have to be careful, because they not only eat with their hands, which is okay. I like eating with my hands. I've been to India before, but they're cooking with their hands, and they're getting their hands in all stuff, and they're wiping their nose, and they're getting the sweat off their head, and they're smoking a cigarette, and they're walking around barefoot all over the place. And you know, not that these are bad things, it's cultural things, right? But that encourages a bit more bacteria. It's not like they're wearing face masks or gloves. They're kind of getting hands-on-y with stuff. And you go to China, at least the China I remember, and because I've been away for a couple of years, but they'd wear a mask so that they're not breathing over the food, and they'd still wear gloves sometimes if they had to handle stuff, even roadside vendors, But I do miss street food. I call it lu cai. Lu cai, like lu is street, and then cai is food generally. So it's not lu cai. It's not the proper word for street food. Maybe somebody can help me in the comment section, but it's my iteration of the word of that phrase, street food, lu cai. I really miss street food in China. It's great. Would people in China like an American food truck? In Japan, they love American bacon. Yeah, I think now. There was a time that when I first got to China, and they had they had a griddle that was a large circle, and they would take this egg flour, and they would pour on the griddle, and then they would spread it out until it was a large, basically like a crepe. And then they would put the most boring stuff in it. They had this, it looked like a churro, basically. It was just a soft bread that was fried, and it was like a tubular thing, and it would sit in the middle. And then they would put some like like pickled vegetables and stuff in the middle with a little bit of sauce. And then they'd roll it up, and that's what people would have for breakfast. And I used to walk out of my apartment and look at those things and be like, you're so close. So close. You put a little beef in there. You don't have to put a ton of beef because obviously there's a budget for these things. But a little bit of meat, a little bit of lettuce. You could even cook the lettuce, because in China they cook a lot of these vegetables. But you could make it into like a thick version of a what are those things in egg roll, like a Thailand style egg roll, but softer and thicker and bigger, and maybe have a little bit of hot sauce in there. Or you could make it full on burrito. And I used to think, oh man, if they could just open up their palate, they'd love that. And it would fill them up too. You put beans in there, like red beans. They like red beans, but it ended up. I ended up thinking that they weren't quite ready for it. Their palate wasn't quite ready for accepting that sort of a food item. But today, I think they would be. It depends on the item. I mean, they love Pizza Hut in China, and they have Taco Bell in China. And they've got McDonald's and KFCs in China, and the flavors are a little bit different. But those Western food items have imported over. Like a pepperoni pizza is now a shrimp and squid pizza. But still very good. But yeah. China is it's like a really interesting experience. That's for sure. Let's see here. Got an email from Cruise and Comfort, actually, because they're helping me to reinstall this these AC components. So yeah, tacos. Although the Taco Bell, I don't know. I used to love Taco Bell when I was younger, but now they're just so small, and it seems so expensive. Tacos, everything seems very. And that's the other thing, just the food item, the bang for your buck here in the United States is. It's unfair how little you get for the price that you pay. And Annie and I both very much agree with this. And it's not outrageous to even think this, because unless I'm not in the food service industry, but if you go to China, you can get a table and you can have like 15 different dishes on that thing, from vegetables to fish to red meat to maybe not drinks, but you can have a table full of stuff, and it'll cost you like $40, and you can have like 5 people eating that and getting full off of it with rice and everything. Whereas maybe even less than that. But in America, and I know the food prices and things are different, but like steak, for example, Annie and I will go out and we'll want to treat ourselves to like a steak, and we'll go out and we'll get the steak, and we'll pay $30, $40 for this steak, and it'll come out. I mean, we can go to Costco here, and there's Costco's in China too. You go to Costco and you can get a steak that is quadruple the size for a very similar price. And we're paying retail, obviously somebody's profiting off that steak. And I mean, obviously Costco's, they know how to manipulate the money, but you can even go to other places and get big, thick, meaty items. And oftentimes it's overcooked, always overcooked at the restaurants here. And it comes out plated. That's the other thing. It's just plated, very boring. Like the steak will come out on one plate, and then on another plate that's really big, you'll have a pile of like a mashed potato plop on it. And then I don't know. It's just, what happened to expediting in some of these places? I just like flare it up, put some basil on it or something, It's just crazy. Yeah. It's just, whereas in China, it's just like sort of like flared and obviously there's the steak you get there, you won't necessarily get big steak. It's all filleted down and cooked with peppers and stuff, but you get a big bowl of it, and you can end up feeding a whole bunch of people different flavors. Anyways, whatever. Funny how we hit our mid to late 40s and Taco Bell just isn't that interesting and appealing. You know what's is funny? I went to Taco Bell with a friend of mine way back when I was in high school, and I was swimming, and I could eat anything. I mean, I could eat 3 full Pizza Hut pizzas. I mean, like obnoxious amounts of food. And we went to, as a joke, I was playing with jokes on my friends, to make them feel uncomfortable. We walked up to the counter at Taco Bell, and I said, "I'll have everything." The lady's like, "What?" My friend was like, "What?" I said, "I'll have everything. One of everything. Go ahead." And it was like one chimichanga, one, meal, one pack meal, one, it was like one of every single thing that they had on the Taco Bell menu. And I remember sitting down with a pile of food, and it's just like mowing down. I mean, one of those tacos won't fill you up, but 25, 30 of those tacos, it'll do you, but anyways, was it Pat in Vegas? Very true. I went to the Philippines. You would spend $20 on a family of 6. It's true. It's true. Now, obviously, the incomes are different, right? So, to support the livelihoods of the people working at those restaurants, they got to charge more for different things. It's just, it seemed like the quality of the stuff was just not good. It's like they didn't put enthusiasm into the food itself. Another story. Me and my buddies, when I was younger, we used to go to B-Dubs, Buffalo Wild Wings. We call it B-Dubs. And we go to B-Dubs. And I remember going there with my buddies when I was younger. And what's up, Rosie? You okay? What about you, Kat? You okay? We go to B-Dubs, where you... So I ended up going to B-Dubs with Annie, and I was like, I know she really likes chicken wings, so I was like, we're going to get you some chicken wings, and we got these chicken wings. They were basically they were non-edible. I mean, they were so salty. It was almost like somebody just took the cap off the salt and just put the salt into the sauce, and the sauce was so thick. And that's another thing. After I've been in China for a while, I'm not so interested in like slathered barbecue on stuff or slathered hot sauce. I like to dip my stuff and have a limited amount. There are a lot of saucy stuff in China, but like barbecue sauce and stuff is not very common. But we got some, spicy buffalo wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, and they were like inedible. They were horrible. And I'm like, did my taste buds change, or did the chicken wings change? I'm still not sure. I can make chicken wings here, and I do find that I don't like putting anything on them. I just like the taste of meat, but anyways, this is I am really knocking it out of the park with the boring side of this live stream. It is the boring birthday sewing live stream spectacular with Matt, and we haven't even gotten to the sewing yet. So watermelons suck these days too, and oranges. I would disagree with that. Annie and I have gone to Costco, which we go to Costco way too much, but they really, really good oranges. I mean, super juicy. And yeah, watermelons are a crapshoot, but when you get a good one, it's really good. I mean, you throw it in the refrigerator, it's really cold. Ooh, oh boy. Oh, sorry, my Eva has been snoring a lot. And Annie just looked down her throat. Her throat is, it's really bad. It's swelled up a lot. Hold on. I didn't realize that she messaged us this. Hold on. It's 6:30 in the morning. I think she's breathing okay, but she's been snoring a lot at night. And Annie just showed me a picture of her throat. It's there's not a lot of. It's weird. It almost looks like there's a bunch of. It's very closed up. That's one of the problems being here in China and them being there. That was an hour ago. I wasn't looking at my phone. I didn't see her messages. Yeah. You see her throat? That's three. There's you can't see it in the quality of what I just showed you, but okay. You know, I'm gonna end this live stream. This is a bit more important. It's been nice to talk to you guys. We did an hour, which is good. I had some other stuff I wanted to talk to you about. I do have a trike trip coming up, and so we'll talk about that. I'm switching to dad mode, so worry dad mode. So anyways, thanks a lot, guys. It was my birthday. I'm 45. We'll talk to you later. Do you like these live streams? I can do more of these. Maybe make them more entertaining, but I feel like I should get started in the process of sharing my life, because that's kind of like what I wanted to do in the beginning. So, okay. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye-bye.